Let's get into one more topic, and then we'll call it a night. Probably one of my favorite topics is like nudity. Let's talk about the new, I don't know if it's new, but the like new social media platform that is like, I feel like just skyrocketing in exponential form. And that is OnlyFans.
Yes.
I feel like we're at a point now where everybody who is like a parent, I feel like I have aunts and uncles now, friends everywhere who are like, what's this OnlyFans thing?
Yeah.
Like everybody knows what it is now. So what's your feedback on this?
So OnlyFans was a great idea that really, and this is, there's data behind this, there's study. I study everything. So I'm just a very curious person by nature. So, and I also like boobs and naked girls and things like that. So when OnlyFans first became a thing, I said, this is cool. This is, it's giving everyday people a chance to kind of like live out their fantasies, right? And monetize it perhaps. But what happened was the biggest thing for OnlyFans by far was COVID. So when COVID shut down and a lot of people did not have shit to do, were really worried about making money and worried about bringing things in, started saying, you know what, I'm trapped in the house. I got my OnlyFans. Maybe I'll start putting out some content. Maybe I'll put out more content. And the ones that manage it the right way started really growing it. And you had no choice. So let's just go straight adult for a minute. Let's just go straight adult. Say that you are a stripper and your strip club is closed for 7 months, right? Your means of income is dancing topless in a bar, and that's removed from your life for 7 months. So let's just say you were making $2,000 a week, and now you're relying on hopefully getting some sort of unemployment check that half the world didn't even get. And what kind of unemployment are you going to get being an adult performer that's making a shitload of tips? You know what I mean? Like figuring all that out, getting the right accountant behind it. Good luck, because I know so many people that didn't get shit out of that whole situation. And now you're in the privacy of your own home. And instead of going out to dance from midnight till 3 a.m, well, you can put on a little routine in front of your camera in your room in the privacy of your own home, and you can decide what you want to do to monetize it. Well, for the girls that got really behind that, I'm just giving one example, money started coming in, and they started realizing, like, I can do a lot more with this. Now, this is a very, of course, generalized way to describe this, but many of those girls started building this consistently and realizing, wow, I can bring in more money like this. I'm not allowed to go anywhere. I should really feed this and see what can happen with it. Now, I told a lot of the girls from the start, here's the deal. If you're just putting what's on your Instagram, that's going to get old really fast. People will see that one time, but they're going to want to see more. Now, the biggest decision comes here is, how much do you want to push it on Instagram? Are you somebody that's just going to want to show your boobs? Are you going to want to show no boobs? Are you going to want to show full nudity? Are you okay with masturbation? Are you okay with pure sex? I know a lot of couples that do that, and now they're monetizing it a lot. And again, we're in a world where COVID took money away from so many people. Now you've got a way to do it in your own home. It's almost a no-brainer to not do it. So the one fear that I have, and this is why I always tell people to stash money and prepare for the worst always. The fear that I have is not that OnlyFans is going to crumble. I think OnlyFans is here to stay. I think it's going to get more and more competitive. The fear that I have is that we're going to hit a point where it's so competitive, we start seeing some divisions, and then all of a sudden people start saying, you know what, maybe I'm going to go back to the old way of just paying $8.99 on Pornhub and doing it like that. Now, Pornhub has kind of changed their infrastructure. They're doing a lot of things differently to monetize things as well. But in all business, you get to a point where there is some sort of separation, split, divide, or even a topple. And OnlyFans will get to that point where there's going to be some sort of split in the infrastructure, some sort of divide, some sort of topple, where certain people will really thrive, and then other people will fall off. And that's where the true management just like any other business is going to come into play. But I can tell you this, the people that really thrive on OnlyFans, they're pumping into it just like the people that are trying to pump social media. And a lot of people are fed up with Instagram because they're being told, I can't do this now. You can't do this. You're getting punished for all these things. And if you're not getting punished on another platform and you're seeing, monetary success, of course you're going to be feeding that one more.
Of all people, how did you not come up with OnlyFans?
I wonder that all the time.
So what I had to do, and this always happens to me, is this has happened to me on Facebook. This has happened to me on Instagram. And of course, it happened to me on OnlyFans. There was a PJ Braun OnlyFans that was soliciting mostly gay guys, which is fine. I love gay guys too, to work for Blackstone Labs and sending pictures that were not even me. And then people started bringing it to my attention. So I was like, man, this is happening there too, because this happened on Instagram also. And so what I did was I went and I started my own page, and I put in the thing like, yes, this really is me. Because I would talk to people and they'd be like, I was already talking to PJ. And I'm like, no, you were talking to one of the fake PJs. I'm like, this really is me. I can prove that's me. I'm here as a fan. I'm not even putting out any content because the case that I'm in, my FDA case, I have to remain, I guess, squeaky clean, even though we all know that my personality is not a squeaky clean personality, but I can't really change what I'm doing with myself too much. I've got to just be the CEO of Blackstone Labs. Now, if it came down to it, I don't care. I think that everybody should be allowed to do whatever makes them happy. And
no, I mean more along the lines is, how did you not create OnlyFans?
Like, how are you not the man
How are
behind?
you not Mr. OnlyFans running this thing?
We had an idea. We had an idea about monetizing a lot of our, so back when Patreon started to take off a little bit, so Patreon it is still around. It never really did what it could have did the way that OnlyFans did. OnlyFans wasn't around yet. So I had a lot of girls that were on Patreon that I was actually managing. And what happened was the advice that I was giving them, they took it over to OnlyFans, and I'm not going to say their names, and they learned to really monetize that. So I wanted to either come up with a management group for OnlyFans, which me and a couple of my people really got. I had an attorney involved. I had contracts involved. We were going to get really deep into it. We didn't want to start our own platform because we kind of liked what OnlyFans was doing. And you know what? Rather than trying to pull a bunch of people over to our platform, we thought, let's just stick to where it's working right now and have another piece to it. Then things just started getting more and more frustrating with the case and everything else, and just the time that goes into it, that we sort of just bailed out on it. I still think it's a great idea, and I am mad that we didn't do this years ago, because we really were going to do it. We had a group of girls that we were behind, that we were doing a bunch of hot photo shoots with anyway, who are now really, really great performers on OnlyFans, making big bucks. So, it just goes to show you snooze, you lose in that sense. And that wasn't a fear aspect. That was just literally not setting the proper time to do it.
So talk about people making like big bucks on OnlyFans. Do you think with April 15th coming up, people are ready to do their taxes?
Yeah. How many people do you think messed this up
Big
in 2020 and are not ready for April 15th to hit them in their pockets?
What happens is a lot of OnlyFans money is new money. And new money is great. It's exciting. And a lot of the kids that I was managing on OnlyFans, their first month, they were like, I'm going to buy an I-8. I'm like, yeah, I had a good month. Put your money in the bank. Second month was great.
With that G-Wagon.
Good. Second month was good. I'm selling my gym. I'm getting the I-8. And I had this conversation with, I don't know why it was an I-8. It's really not even a great car. And that, I think I was more disappointed in that. I'm like, I'll tell you what car to get. Don't waste it on that. So I always tell people, try to plan for the worst always. And that's, I hate to put it negative like that, but at least you've got something to fall back on no matter what, right? So when you get new money, and I will admit, this happened to us years ago. We didn't have a good accountant. That a very good accountant will tell you should be paying quarterly taxes, right? And a lot of people are like, quarterly taxes, fuck that. I got to give them a line at the end of the year anyway. or I'm getting mine back at the end of the year. And I can promise you, if you're at a point where you're making big money on OnlyFans, you're not getting money back. You can find a really good accountant, but you are going to have to pay. Now, if you've got somebody good in your corner that's having you make these quarterly payments, you're setting this money aside, even though you got a lot coming in, to prepare you for when that April 15th comes. Because when it comes, you're going to get blasted in a way that you didn't prepare for. Because OnlyFans is so new,
Gonna sell your I-8.
and all these things that are happening, you're going to be like, whoa. And this is what your accountant's going to say to you. This is what they always say. When you are not prepared to pay all this money, your accountant's going to say, but think about how much you made on OnlyFans. And it's not going to make you feel any better, because if you didn't plan for it, the money's not going to be there. And the IRS, they're getting their money no matter what. They're getting their money no matter what. So having a good money manager or somebody who understands this, I have set some of the girls up with money managers so they can understand these things. And it's frustrating because they're like, why do I have to give this money here? I'm the one who's making it. And I'm like, trust me, they're going to come take it from you anyway. So you've got to plan and structure ahead. I tell people, if you're going to be making a good amount of money, you should just, in your mind, and this sounds crazy, every third month, just to be safe, don't spend any of that money at all and just put it somewhere where the IRS can take it. Every third month. Some people will say, well, if you pay your taxes quarterly. But if you're making that much money, in that third month, just take all that money you made and put it here, because the IRS is probably going to want most of that anyway. And if you're doing that, you're going to be prepared, rather than waiting for the end of the year and being like, okay, well, I made X amount of money, but I spent X amount of money, and I have to give 40% of what I spent to the IRS now, and I don't happen to have that anymore. Then you get yourself in a very, very tricky situation.
Yeah, especially when somebody
was
thinks they're going to have to pay like $5,000 or $7,000, and then their CPA is like, you owe $40,000 or $50,000 to the government, and they're like, whoa, wait, how? Like, people just don't get it, and
Yeah.
I think it's a rude awakening coming for a couple people in the next 2 weeks.
There was a year where, and a lot of people that won't know terms like capital gains and things like that. So there was a year where Blackstone Labs blew up, and it was the funnest year of my life. And we're young guys, new money. So we're like, I want this car, I want this car, I want this. And we actually were paying quarterly taxes, but we had grown so much that the accountant that we were with was a very bad accountant, and he had us paying just a minimum amount. So when the year was done, even after deductions and everything else, I'll never forget this. So the day I die, I'm just going to throw the number out. He was like, all right, so you owe $360,000. And I was like, wait a minute.
I pay quarterly.
I thought we were good. And his response was, but think about how much you made if that's how much you owe. And I was like, no.
Doesn't make it better.
That's not making it better. Because I'm like, where are we supposed to have that? I guess I should sell some of these things that I just bought because I wasn't prepared for that. Then you learn how to structure your money where you're just giving a lot to the IRS no matter what, so that you are prepared for these things. So when people see my paychecks now, they're like, that's what you get paid? And I'm like, I'm planning ahead because of things I learned years ago with the IRS to soften the blow for when that time of the year comes. And let me just throw this out there for all the people that hated the big orange man. If you're in the higher tax brackets, wait until you see how your taxes hit you this year, because it's going to be even worse this year. You're going to be paying a lot.
Yeah, it's coming.